Hey, welcome back to Automotive Electronics. 2011 F-150 XLT 4x2 Super Crew Cab. Please test unit first. Not sure this is the problem, but all signs point to it. Please let me know if this is my problem and ease my mind. Well, I can take a look at it, but I don't know about easing your mind. Okay, so it's 2011. It ain't going to crank up on the bench without a little help from my friend, the OBD Star. Let's see what we got. Hang on. Yeah, got cables all twisted over here. Give me a second. I'm coming. Good Lord, we got a whole tangled up mess. I mean, I got a mess. You would think I'd be a little more organized. See, as I'm trying to put together a concise video. OBD Star. MT501 if you're interested. And Ford, in their infinite wisdom, decided that we cannot power these bad boys up without these. It's got to be hooked up with CAN signals, and this thing provides CAN signals. Grounds 4 and 5. Okay, we got. I've got notes here on how to hook this thing up. I'm gonna hit pause. Hang on a second. Okay, we're back. Got us hooked up to the MT501. Let's see what we got here. Accept. And I think we're going to use it as a test platform. I don't use this thing very often, so stick with me, folks. R Dash Pro. And let's see here. We're looking for Ford. Just go dashboard Ford, kind of generic, but start and on. Dashboard is lit. No, it is not. Let's see if we can change any of that. Does not look like we can. All right, well, dashboard is not lit. Let's make sure we got this on. Oh, there we go. Had to hit this little button here. And it did try. I've got the little red car blinking. But she didn't last very long. Let's see. Let me just try cycling it off. Cycle it on. We get some needle twitches. Needles come up. But nada. No display. And I'll do this. I'm going to cycle it one more time. See if these needles up here kind of seem to set in place. Or yeah, they all seem to set where they would normally. So, and we should have lights coming on if I remember correctly on these. So it's time to start tearing into this bad boy. This thing basically all it does is is turn your cluster on. It'd be nice if it would do some more testing, but it doesn't. Alright. Let's get the back off of this. Or maybe one of you super pros out there with a speedometer shop of your own know a little more than I do and could tell me maybe that thing does do some more testing. Okay, now we got lights, and now we're off again. Alright, we definitely got some issues going on this one. Let's see if we're going to be able to find anything on the board. So we got those screws I just took out, T15s. You start working the clips on the back. And eventually you'll get it to release and get this backing off. Just like so. And now you want to get the front off, because we want to be able to look at both sides of the board. So just start working around it with the clips. Start getting yourself a little gap there. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to test your own cluster, even if you go to the junkyard and get a plug for it, other than just stick it back in your truck. Don't get me wrong, sticking it back in your truck definitely works to test whether you've made any changes or not. So you can go that route for sure. Alright, we're going to power it off. I'm going to show you how to get these needles off. The way I do it here, we just make us a little dot where I want the needles on the stops. If you come around with your needles, you'll feel that they have stops at certain points. And you just make yourself a little dot in pencil. If that little dot bothers you, you can put some masking tape on there. And then put your dot on the masking tape. Or you can do it just like I just did it. And guess what? It's in pencil. So, and we're going to have a problem with this one, because these are really easy to break the stepper motors. And I broke that one. Got a little heavy-handed, forgot what I was doing. You guys distracted me. There we go. You can use that method, just pull up, fork tool, actual fork will work. And there pretty much is no fixing that stepper motor. You'll have to get a new one. Fortunately, I keep my feathers numbered for just such an occasion. And I've got a few of those. Not that I wanted to use them, but it happens. Get all these clips loose, put a little outward tension on the board. Come on. It's not coming easy. This is to the display on the other side. You want to flip that up and release that cable. don't want to start twisting it or twisting on the board until you get that done, because that has a habit of not ending well either. Like me twisting on a motor I wasn't supposed to be twisting on. These have almost as many clips as Dodge has screws. Alright, now that we got that all apart, I'm going to go ahead and plug that ribbon back in so we can just see if we get the screen to light up or anything. I'm going to give it some power again. And I'm going to start playing with it a little bit, see if I can make anything happen here. It don't hurt to play around and see if you can fix stuff when it's broke, because what do you have to lose? Not one hell of a lot. It's broken when you started. So I'm just pushing on components. The notorious thing about Fords are they tend to have components start to let go. So if you push on them and it lights back up, 9 times out of 10, you done found it. But I am not getting any action this way. So let's see if we can do a little board flexion, get something to happen with that. These boards are pretty stiff. I'm not getting nothing lit up there. I'll tweak this a little bit here and there and see if anything lights off. And nothing lights off. So, going back to my note on this, he wanted me to please let me know if this is my problem to ease my mind. Well, if it eases your mind, sir, this is your problem. Alright, so not finding anything here. We're going to go over to the microscope, see if we can find anything in the microscope. I'm not thinking we're going to. I think that's going to be a dry run, but we're going to give it the college try. Get this over to this one and then this one. Okay. Well, let's go back to 3 first. Alright, so what I'm going to be looking at is header pins here. Look at those real close. I'm going to maybe look at some resistors, see if I see any cracks. I'll look tight in on these capacitors, see if I see any leaks or anything. I don't see anything with the naked eye. Oh, well, you can't see what I'm looking at on these capacitors here. I can't see any one of those that are looking abnormal, nothing bulging, nothing leaking. Not seeing nothing. We have identified our chip with all of our memory in it, 24C16, which is right here. That is the chip with the memory in it. So it will be nice and easy to clone this one to a different cluster and get him back up and running pretty easily. Alright, let's look at this under the microscope, see if we can see anything. My eyes are pretty damn bad when it comes to identifying these problems with the naked eye. I got 4.0 readers, but even that's not enough sometimes. Alright, let's get focused. When I see some cracking like this, I tend to grab a hold and shake and see if I can't get that to move a little bit. Not really seeing anything there. Usually when it's cracked solder joint, it's pretty damn obvious. Don't really see anything there. I don't see any of the bigger resistors on this side. Let's flop it over and look at the other side, see if we can find any larger capacitors that might have come loose. I do not like the way that looks. Maybe it just looks bad, but it looks crooked, and I don't think it's on there. Let's adjust our focus. Yeah, it's on there. I'm just not. Usually they're not crooked like that. Not seeing anything. So here is the chip. Where is the chip? There's the chip. 24C16 AN, which can be read and wrote as 24C16. Turn it around so it's right side up on the screen for y'all. Where did it go? Where did it go? Sometimes it's kind of fun finding things in the microscope. Alright, 24C16, that's where all your mileage lives, that's where your hours live, that's where your security, if you have it, lives. That's where everything is. That's where all the good stuff is. I am going to go ahead, since we did see a little bit of cracking in that, I'm going to take a shot at soldering those pins and just see. I've got no faith in it though, to be honest. So we're just going to hit all the pins, just touching them up a little bit, making sure we don't bridge them together. And probably off camera. No, not too bad. Alright, let's see if that did anything. Like I said, I have no faith in it. I have absolutely no faith that's going to do anything. And it did not. Same stuff, came on, goes off. Alright. Oh. Well, caught me with my old man glasses on. I'm going to poke around on it, play with it a little bit, and if I find anything, I will make sure to get it back in and get the camera back on and show you what we're doing. Well, I decided we're going to do it over here in front of God and everyone. We're just going to go after it. I've got it hooked up, power thrown to it. I'll show you all that. Power's on. I'm going to turn on the hot air, and I'm going to see if I can't just heat this sucker up and find a flaw in it. Might as well get it on camera if I find it, right? I'll let this heat up a second. I don't have a fancy one that heats up in no time. Okay, we're good. And get my glasses on so I can see what I'm heating. It's a pretty good way of figuring out what's going on with these sometimes. There's been more than once that I've just kind of gone over it like this, and I get to the right component, it'll light off. Well, apparently none of those were the right components. She can cover a lot of ground with a hot air station in a short amount of time, so you guys are probably sitting there going, yeah, this video is getting long, so much for short. Okay, got nothing there. Let's poke around over here, see if we can find anything. What we're basically doing, this is just hot air, and we are reflowing connections one right after another. I've got my air turned down low but my heat up high, so it's melting the solder on all the components as they just sit in place. Kind of like the old Xbox trick where you put the Xbox in the oven, wrap it in a towel, and cook it. That's all that it's doing when you do that trick. And that little trick works sometimes. Whoa, look what we found, people. What's on the other side of the board right there. So yeah, I'm going to have a hard time having faith in this because the other side, this is the side that has the processor, is right underneath it. And sometimes when the processors start to turn loose, if you heat them up, you'll get them to come back on. But it's kind of a false positive. Let's continue to go over these. So yeah, that was a good example of finding the problem. Now if this cools back down in a minute and we have the same problem, then this board is toast. There ain't nothing you can do about that processor. I'm sure somebody from MIT could probably figure out how to hack into those processors and get the software out, all that crap. But the question is the juice worth the squeeze? There, she's on. Now ain't nothing left to do but to let her cool down and see what's what. Alright, but that does, if it cools down and it doesn't work, well, we know processors fail on these, so that's a good finding, even if it doesn't fix this, guys, because we know that's a problem in these. And we will know in the future when we get one of these in and can't find the problem, it's likely a processor. Alright, so it's going to take this thing a minute to cool down. It ain't going to happen just right away, so we're going to sit here and let it run and see if it cuts off. So it's 7:55 here in San Antonio, way past supper time. Way past supper time, and I'm hungry, and I've had a hell of a day. I'm worked on a Saturn Outlook all day. Dropped the fuel tank. Had a bad fuel pump in there. Not too hard a job, honestly, but it was messy. You know, I don't like getting my pretty hands dirty. So I'm not really crying. I'm just hungry. You know how that goes. We'll let this run for a little bit. Like I said, 7:55 now. We'll check back in a little bit. Okay, so I'm hungry, so I hurried the process along a little bit. I stuck this sucker in the freezer. And it's nice and chilly right now. So let's see if we got anything going on. Nope, we are right back to where we were. So I think we got ourselves a bad processor. I'm going to crank up the heat again. We're going to heat it up again over here. See if we can repeat what happened earlier. Like I said, it ain't got nothing to lose. Make sure I got us powered on. We are powered on here. Might take a little longer to heat up this time because we are nice and chilly after being in the freezer. If we can get it on at all. Yeah, well, that one right there is the one that it lit up on. Let me see. Give it a little extra juice. So, to my customer, as long as you got one of these, you can get your cluster working. One thing I will caution you guys with, you know, while I was waiting on the freezer to do its thing, was I could just envision y'all with a big old heat gun or something coming in here and blowing it. I've got my air set as low as it'll go, so I'm pinpoint heating this thing. And you get in here with a big old heat gun, hair dryer, whatever. That's likely not a good thing to do, because you're going to wind up all these little components. Let's get over to the. Let's see if we can show you what I'm working on here. The area that I'm working on here. These are tiny, tiny, tiny. I mean, tiny, tiny, tiny. And the little resistor array, where the hell was that at? That I heated finally they got that thing to come on and is right there. And I'm going to get in there and I'm going to solder the bejesus out of that one. And we will see if, and I'll stick it in the freezer again when I get done with that. I'll use a little flux on this job because this job is a little bit more delicate than those pins. Basically, better have a microscope if you're working on this. Alright. I got my cables all wound up. Where are we at here? Yeah, where power's off, good. I'm not doing this through the viewfinder, so it's just, hang on, let me get situated a little bit better. This ain't real easy to do. Come on. Okay. See if I can get to this other side. I need to twist it around so I can get to it. Hang on, I got the wires hung up and everything else here. So, got a little CF going on. There we go. Now I can get to the other side of it a little easier. Oh. Come on. Line up. Where is my solder? There it is. So basically we're doing the same thing that we did with the header pins. We're just working at really smaller device here. Okay. That one's nice and solid. So if that was the issue, we should have it. This is going to take another cycle through the freezer before we have any confidence in it. There we go, built Ford tough. Did cycle on pretty good. We're not extremely warm there. I'm going to go throw it in the freezer again and see if I can get it going. I got a cousin named Craig that works for Ford in Detroit. Shout out to Craig. You'd know who you are. Just sitting here trying to fix things that you guys should have designed a little better. Alright, we'll go throw it in the freezer. Alright, we're back from the freezer. Yeah, we didn't get nothing accomplished again. So, I am afraid that we got a processor problem. We'll go through this routine again. See if we can find maybe something in this area. Maybe it was one of these other little arrays. If not, and I don't think it is, I bet you it's just that I'm heating the processor. I'm going to just heat the processor on this side and see if we get it to light up. I'm not getting it to light up from just heating the processor, so maybe I'm wrong about the processor. Nope. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that was the deal. It's just the processor. And there ain't nothing we're going to do about that. Nothing at all. So this processor, let me give you a little close-up of the processor here. It is not something that we can... No, nothing that I can jack with, at least. We'll put it that way. There's your processor. And it is a processor without any of the legs on the side, so that means it's got the balls underneath, which, you know, there is people that can... I've never reballed anything at this point yet, but there are people that can do that. However, you can't get the processor in the first place. You can't get a replacement processor, so it's not like we can even get one that we can put back on here, because Ford, just like Apple, just like Samsung, just like all the manufacturers these days, has decided that it's not going to let you know what's what inside of these things. Not going to let you know. It's probably not even the right number for the processor. It's probably a proprietary number that you can't get a hold of, and then if you did, how you getting software out of it and getting it back into a blank processor? You're still stuck. So this is indeed one of those ones that the juice ain't worth the squeeze. So then we come back over here. We're going to get the information out of that bad boy, and we're going to blow it into a cluster off of eBay, and hopefully we'll have some better luck with the next cluster, because this one's done. So So it's sitting here running, but I'm sure it's not long for this world. As soon as it cools down. Yep, there it goes. Got to turn off right on camera. All right, so that's it with this one. That's all we can do. Can't do no more. Mr. Brady, I apologize for failing on you, but it is what it is. I won't fail you, though. I'll get you another cluster, get it cloned to this one, and we'll get it back out to you. You'll never know the difference. So, anyhow, that's it for this one. Let's get over here. Did what we could do, did our due diligence. At least we know what it was that was wrong with this one. So, unfortunately, it's the one thing we can't fix. And I wish the world was different, because, you know, it's my belief that, you know, you shouldn't intentionally make products that you know people aren't going to be able to fix. And I think that's the way the trend is going with just about every manufacturer. It's getting to where they're trying harder and harder to shut you out of repairing things. And this is one of those cases. So if you get a chance, I think the Louis Rossmann is the champion of right to repair. He's done a lot of work to that end, and if you get a chance to support him and his efforts, then I would say go for it, because this is a situation we run into if we don't stand up and demand to be able to fix components like this, and you're just stuck with having to buy a new one. There's always a workaround. We're not going to Ford for a brand new cluster. We're going to go to eBay, and we're going to get a working cluster, and we're going to program his information in. So we're going to find a workaround for him, but like I said, it is what it is. Anyway, maybe that helped you out. If you like what you saw here today, get down there and like and subscribe. We do our best to fix them as they come in, but not always have 100% success with it. My name is John. We've been fixing electronics in San Antonio for about 20 years, and specialize in automotive, but we've expanded into all kinds of things. So if you've got a question, just give me a call, and I'll let you know whether I can step up and try to help you or not. You can Google automotive electronics in San Antonio, and you'll find us every time. Till next time, I hope all your repair attempts are successful, and hope you save yourself a little cash, because God knows what that's going to cost if you have to go to Ford. Anyway, see you in the next video.